Hello, everybody, and welcome to Somebody's Heroes. We are back with the Raven Court. I'm Eric, I'm the Dungeon Master.
I'm GM Justin. I'm playing Mystery Link.
Hey there, everyone. This is Yuri, and I am playing Morwen Sanature.
Link. A couple of days after the conversation you had with Morwen, you know that the Changeling is coming back tomorrow to meet back up, and you have to be there to deal with the contract negotiations. You've almost got the contract better and properly written out. But you're in Taliva right now, in a coffee shop, working on some final touches. The coffee shop doesn't have a sign. Well, it does have a sign, but the sign doesn't say anything. It just has the picture of a coffee cup. Behind the counter is a Goliath in a biker jacket. And you've tracked the temporal anomaly that Sylvain mentioned to somewhere around here. You've noticed minor. You've done some detect magics and some ritualistic type stuff to hone in on temporal magics. Yeah. And you've brought it down to it's within a block of here. But you thought you'd stop in for a muffin, and you found out they're free.
Ooh, yep.
Free muffins and coffee.
You know, you can't beat that, honestly. Like you had me at free, and I'm there for it.
And the Goliath behind the counter is just like, how many of these you want?
I think right now, can I get a banana nut? Let me get a blueberry, and then I'll start with these. And can I have just a regular cup of coffee, some milk and a little bit of sugar, and that will be it. I will be over there if you don't mind delivering that. And then you're just going to see Link just slap down like a couple things of gold and be like, that should be able to cover it. Okay, bye.
I mean, cover's free. But he pulls the 3 or 4 gold, puts it in his pocket, and he's like, the banana nuts, they're what we call airy muffins. Is that okay?
Sure, I said blueberry and banana nut.
Yeah. They're just an airy banana nut.
Blueberry, banana nut, coffee.
All right.
I'll be over there. Thank you, Kibai.
All right. And he just pours a cup of coffee. He brings you over these 2 muffins. As you bite into the banana nut, it is actually a cupcake.
It's free.
Just called an airy muffin.
And they're just gonna chow down and just like smash that right like instantly.
Well, at least you like them. If you need me, I'm over here. Name's Jedediah. Just holler if you need anything.
Alright, thanks Brian, appreciate it.
Jedediah! My name's Jedediah.
Thank you.
Jedediah. He starts talking to you like you didn't pick up what he said, which is rare because he's dumb.
And
he's dumb. He doesn't normally meet people dumber than him.
Link is just going to continue throwing back out different names. Alright, thank you, Amy. I appreciate it.
No, Amy left. She's at the university.
Timothy, I said thank you.
Whatever. And he goes back to... I'm going to be upstairs making some muffins. I'll see you around.
Alright, see you then, Casey.
And you are left alone in this coffee shop.
I think what the audience would see is Link is just going through the contract and just kind of like continuing to etch through and go through all the things that he knows needs to be done to make sure that this contract benefits Morwen more than anything else. So that way she's able to get what she needs, and whoever this person is will only get the absolute thing that they ask for, no further strings attached. Yeah.
Of this 15-page document, you end up with like 3 or 4 in your new revision.
It went from like 15 to now like 20, just to make sure like everything is in Morwen's favor.
You also know how lucky it is that this was a written document, because the Fae usually just use words, which is even worse.
Yeah, I can't do. And you're just gonna see like Link just kind of like look up and just like shudder as he has like a little bit of a disgusted but also like angry face to him. It's just.
After a little while, you hear the door open. You feel a large Goliath-sized hand on your shoulder, as it looks like Jedediah sits across the table from you. How's it going with your paperwork there?
Sir, I did not appreciate you touching me. Also, Kim, did you not say you were going to go upstairs?
Yeah, I did. I put them in the oven. It's fine.
Oh, okay. So, can I help you with something else there, Casey?
Yeah. You didn't pay.
You said that they were free. And you're gonna see Link just kind of give like squinty eyes before he rolls the thing up, or he takes like all of them and just kind of like rolls them up. Like, you said that they were free.
It looks around. Oh yeah, I guess that sign does say that.
The paperwork is just going to magically like go back into his backpack before he like cinches it down very closely. He's like, so, I've been saying your name wrong. What was it again?
Name's Jedediah.
Huh.
How are you doing, Link?
I never told you my name.
Like I don't know customers.
This is my first time in here.
Is it now? You must have a winky face.
Who are you really?
Well, it would appear that I need you to roll me an insight check.
Oh, absolutely. 18 on the dot, so 26.
Well, you see. And the face changes into a hooded cloak, into a hood with no face.
Huh.
It appears you already know who I am. Still with Jedediah's voice.
I do. Couple questions for you. One, what are you doing here? Two, the whole changing thing. No, that answers my own question. And then three, what can I do for you?
Well,
also, thank you for again bringing me onto the Raven Court. This has been a very fun experience, to say the least.
It's been a hell of a ride, hasn't it?
It has. It has.
How did you like that gift-wrapped present that I gave you in securing your own life?
It's been, what is it? I greatly appreciate it. It has made things a little bit easier in understanding things, so that brings up the answer to my second question to you, which I had answered. Changeling, I see.
She needs to take this deal.
Okay.
The changelings are dying.
Yes, I am aware of this. So then, my next question to you then is, I know she's going to take the deal because I am writing the deal, and making sure that there is none of the shenaniganry that I know comes with these type of deals, which I'm honestly intrigued that you guys even put it on paper, but hey, I became aware of it, so now I'm going to make sure that this deal is done in the most fair way possible. Now, what is it that you guys are wanting out of this?
And he fully shifts into the founder. All we want, all we need, all we desire is the cure. We've been here for eons. If Morwen cannot solve this dilemma, the only other place that can is here in Tauliva.
Okay.
For they are the only ones with enough technological knowledge and know-how to resolve our dilemma. They just don't know it yet. And that is why I am here, is because I'm here to ensure that Tauliva continues, because you all ignored my warning 3 weeks ago.
Which warning was that exactly? I don't remember off the top of my head, unless you just told one particular person, and at that point it's just like, I don't know what you want me to do for that.
It was at the last meeting when I told you that the city is failing and there are problems here that need immediate attention.
Yes, okay.
You all have been
ringing a bell.
dicking off around this fucking continent, doing God's only know what, and not doing this issue. It's a good thing I have backup plans.
What kind of plans do you have? How many plans do you have? Are you one of those people that Are you like one of those people that make plans that are bent to fail? Is that what we're doing here?
If you make enough plans, one will succeed.
Or you could just make the one plan that succeeds.
Problem is, with making only one, is that you end up relying on people
Well, yeah.
who die before they get to the end. Why do you think you all were fucking chosen this time around?
How many other iterations of the Raven Court have there been?
Oh, the Raven Court's been around at least 1,800 years.
Interesting.
Valus killed most of them.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I see that. And then, well, shenanigans have gone on, and well, I mean, we are where we are. Hey, quick question for you, if you don't mind answering. I'm glad that you bring him up. How much do you know about this person?
About Valus?
Yes. Like, really know about him.
I have been dealing with Valus longer than Valus knows that I've been dealing with Valus. I am the one who got him turned. I did not turn him. I got him turned. I am the one who set him up to be wed and have his family before he knew they existed.
Oh wow,
and
so
I am
you set that up.
Keeping them safe and sound.
Okay, so you've orchestrated everything with Valus, so you've had everything planned.
Of course.
Now that
I can trust my own plans.
Sir, we're all playing checkers here, and you were playing like 4D chess or some bullshit like that. Jesus Christ.
Time is a bitch, and when you've got it all, why not use it?
I mean, I give it to you because, like, he has no idea where his family is, if I'm not mistaken. But if you are keeping them safe, they must be in some place around here that he's never even thought of checking.
Roll a persuasion check, because you are packing it in, bro.
Okay, that is an 18 on the die, and that's a 27.
Beats his. He got an 11 on the die.
Well, it's easy to keep them safe when they never left.
Never left where?
They never left home.
So,
They've
wait,
been
hold
home
on.
the entire time.
Okay, so I know Aelothin is a very smart man. You're telling me that you've kept his family home? You can't just tell me that they've been at his house this entire time and he's like that's the last place he's looked. No, there's got to be more than that. Like that's brilliant, but then there's there's more to that. Come on, you got to give me something here. That's a genius move if you've somehow managed to keep them at home without him ever thinking I should go check my old house.
Well, having him locked in the material planes helped.
Oh, you kept him locked here.
How else do you think Strahd had that capacity to banish him in the first place?
Oh, that's genius.
Easy to keep him safe when he's not home. When he can't get home.
So, okay, alright, so you've managed to find this man here, thinking that his family is here when they're not. How did you do it? Like, there's gotta, that's a level of genius that I've only seen in very few entities throughout the entire realms that I've visited, so how did you do it?
Well, you see, and he pulls out this mirror. It shows them in a material plane looking residence. He puts it down, picks it back up, looks like it's somewhere else. Puts it down, picks it back up, and now you're protecting them in Tamraze.
So they never actually leave, but you've managed to be able to, anytime he catches a glimpse of where they could potentially be, that's just your, whatever enchantment that you use, you misdirect him in another spot.
Exactly. Illusions.
Illusions are,
A bitch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jesus Christ. Okay. Wow. Oof.
I know.
Okay. Oof.
Now they're safer than ever. Especially after, Solarian wants him dead so bad.
Yeah. That's also, because not only are you protecting them from Solarian, you're also protecting Aelothin. You're also using that in a way to kind of hang over his head. So he continues on this journey of
A dog chasing their tail.
dog chasing their tail. Huh. I do it.
Never thinking outside the box.
What do you get out of all this? Just him doing your bidding?
Him doing what's right.
Yes. Genius move. I do have to give you that one. Now, I will say, okay, cool. So, you're gonna see as Link reaches into his bag and pulls out a copy of the original, contract that between Morwen and the other person that they were talking with. Like, this right here has so many strings attached to it. I have to ask, why this? If you knew for a fact that I may get my hands on this.
As you're talking, you feel a high-powered, high-level version of the Gift of Gab wipe through your mind and forget that you knew about the manipulation. Parts of it still are there, but a lot of it is now forgotten. And he begins to answer your question on the contract.
Is there a way for me to counterspell?
Roll an Arcana check. If you get high enough, I'll say yes.
Okay, well, first off, I don't think I'm silly enough to not have counters. Yep, I do. Just wanted to make sure, hold on. Before I do this, hold on. Just make sure, because then at that point it's just it's irrelevant. But I do, so. Okay, so that is going to be
And that's why I said it starts to wipe away, it starts to happen, and this gives you that trigger.
What is it? That's a 15, and that is a 27.
High enough. I had a DC 25 in my head. You start to forget the back end of it, the very last couple of things you asked, but the majority of it's still there. But he thinks the spell went off. You just push back against it with that counter spell. Because it was 9th level, I'm not going to make you full on. We're not going to get into roll-offs.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because counter spells can get messy.
Yeah.
You do know he's manipulating Bailiff, but you don't know the full details.
Gotcha.
And then he begins to answer about the contract. When Bailiff is gone, and Solarian is the most powerful vampire in the material plane, who else could stop him except Morwen?
And that's why you gave a contract that had so many strings attached to it. Try to get her to sign it, not knowing everything, because I read through the fine detail, even the detail that she was not going to see.
Oh, you found the illusory script in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if there's one thing that I know it's contracts. And, there's one thing I also know is that I hate the fact that your version of the contracts don't come to us. So, of course, I know you got some bullshit, so who do you think is going to make sure, that contract is going to not have your shenanigans in it? So,
I'm very glad that you have made friends so easily. It makes the game more fun.
What way? And at this point, you're going to see, Link, go from that, the smile and everything to just suddenly go serious.
In this way. And he pulls this, and just out of the cloak comes a chessboard. And puts it on the table. Your move. Legend says that long ago, in the ancient grove, there used to be a bleed through from the Feywild. In this forest that has dotted amongst it various colored leafed trees of pinks and purples and oranges? It's summertime sometimes, but it's orange. So weird. And it always seems to have this light pink, very thin fog or mist that is over parts of it. Not the whole thing, but just a certain section of the oldest part of the wood where the trees grow to 200-300 feet sometimes. It is in this forest that we are actually going to run into a couple of people who are meeting in their base. I'm going to go ahead and let the owner of the base describe what their base looks like.
The base itself is a somewhat rustic log cabin, castle, grand hunting lodge vibe. Stone floors, large stone fireplace, large roaring fire, curtains of purple and gold, banners on the wall, purple with a gold trim, a claw mark as a symbol in the middle, maybe some claw marks at the bottom tearing at it, ruining the perfect visage of what you would see before you. Over in the corner of this large room, you would see a pile of wolves sleeping soundly, peacefully, nothing bothering them. Next to that, you'd probably see simple wooden furniture, wooden chairs, wooden table, maybe a bar set up. And over at the table, you would find two individuals.
We're gonna go ahead and let those individuals introduce themselves. One of them has been seen before, as you can tell by his ruby eye that glistens in the firelight, and the other one sitting across from him is a grizzled, almost furry wolf-like individual. I'm gonna go ahead and let Aelothin go ahead and introduce yourself first, as you bring up a new topic that you recently went and tried to make a deal with.
Aelothin is played by me, Dennis. You can find me on the internet at okayest__DM. Aelothin himself, as previously mentioned, has a bright ruby red eye, replacing one of his regular ones. He is in a slightly different form than when last we saw him, a little bit more gaudy. He looks sort of like a socially aware prince that has had money at his fingertips since birth. He has a loose-fitting, nice shirt on. He has some jewelry adorning his hands, and he has a very large, gaudy hat, bright green with a huge feather plumed out behind it, one of the sides folded up. And he is swirling a glass of what looks to be wine as he reclines in front of the fire next to the literal dog pile, sleeping in the corner. Your hospitality is as expected. It's good to see you again.
And across from him, we see a Lupine. Lupine, go ahead and introduce yourself and describe what the audience would see and what Aelothin is looking at right this second.
Lupine is played by Christopher, and you can find me at chris.perick at Instagram and Threads. Lupine is a gruff, grizzled, time-worn down individual. On the outside, he has a black billowing cape that does have white specks on it, as he just came in from the snow outside. As he has just come in, the cloak is still fastened around him, but as he unfastens the cloak, the armor is a mixture of black, silver, a little bit of purple, but one thing can be seen more than any, and that is a claw mark sigil that hangs around his neck, and it's gold. Lupine has a beard down almost to his pectorals. He has quite long hair. His canines are definitely protruding from his lips at this time, as he is sitting down with a glass of what looks to be some sort of whiskey, and he is looking over at his wolf pack and then back at Aelothin. It's been too long since you've been out here. I hope you have some information for me.
You're asking me if I have information.
They don't call you the broker for nothing.
It's good to see at least you have some of your wits still about you. Yes, I do have some information. Unfortunately, it's not a resolution, as it would be called, as we have been looking for, but it is a start.
As you say, it's not a resolution. You definitely see a little bit of a snarl, and you definitely see the more canine-like features start to protrude. Time we do not have is being spent. We have a mission. We need to complete it. Our very survival depends on it.
And what is the point of spending this time to complete this mission, to survive, if we don't enjoy it along the way? There are so many vices this world has to offer, and I have tried but a few. So you can be rest assured I am putting everything I have into this mission so that I can survive and continue my joyous life as it has been going for the last several centuries. Lower your hackles.
Telling me what to do again in my house and see what happens. And with that, he is going to take a sip of his drink and lean back a little more, trying to pull back those canine influences.
There's a smirk that crosses across Aelothin's face, but he leans forward, sets the wine down, and says, "You're right. I'm in your home. You are due at least the respect that is due any host. Thank you for having me." And he inclines his head slightly.
This might be my home because I built it. This has been a home for all of our kind ever since I set foot here. Every single one of us has taken their first steps through this home. I'm just the one that calls it my permanent abode, although it sometimes feels more like a prison. I sincerely hope that one day we will be rid of this world and back to where we belong. It has been too long.
Perhaps. But as you know, this is where we disagree. This world has too much to offer to go back. But I can appreciate those that are pack-minded like yourself, doing things for the good of all of us.
Was that supposed to be a joke? Pack-minded. I forgot my sense of humor. No matter. Hopefully soon, our other guest will be joining us. And then we can get some damned answers.
He's not usually late.
Of that you are correct.
A small satyr comes in with a very large rack of meat. Throws half of it to the wolves. Brings the other half. Sir Lupine, Master, here's your lunch.
Thank you. See what our friend here, Aelothin, wants. And then please be ready for when you are needed.
Master Aelothin, what can I do to help?
I look over the slabs of meat. Do you have anything a little more cooked?
Of course. Medium rare?
Please.
Oh, okay. The satyr knows well enough not to offer anything not with the word rare in it, because Lupine will likely do something to hurt them. So runs back to the kitchen and starts cooking, and you hear a giant meat cleaver cutting this another large slab of ribs. Brings you out after 5-6 minutes a good solid medium rare, maybe a little more rare than medium. Rack of about 6 ribs.
This might be more of a question for Chris, but is there any cutlery?
There definitely is cutlery, even if Lupine is one that's a little more primal per se. He does know that his guests, especially those that are of his kind, he's going to give them at least some sort of respect to, if they would want the cutlery, it's there.
So this is
same with if you really
Beast.
want a plate.
This is the Beauty and the Beast scene where Belle is eating the soup with the spoon, and the Beast is. I love it.
He's going to more take it like he's going to take his big claws, which do have the nails extended. He's going to grab it and basically just bite it like it's an apple. And that is how he's going to eat.
Now, it is slightly warmed because you do ask for it blue, not rare. So it's just that it's the put it on the fire, flip, done, bring it out.
Yes, no. Lupine asks for it blue. The pack gets it
Raw.
rare.
Raw. There's a very big difference. Raw is uncooked in any capacity. Rare is a little longer than blue. As you guys finish eating, which takes a good 10-15 minutes with the size of this this was a large size creature or bigger, possibly even huge. So these are giant ribs. As you finish eating, you hear off in the distance in another side room being dragged down the hallway a voice you do not recognize. And just you hear a very soft voice under their breath that you can't hear what they're saying over top of his screaming and yelling. Kuerdo, what are you screaming and yelling about? As you're being dragged by the scruff and by the collar of your shirt.
So you hear this voice of this person who's just like, all right, sorry guys, well, listen, hey, where are you taking me? It's fine. I was fine. I was just doing, they wanted me to sing. The lady looked at me in that way. The gentleman seemed to be in trouble. I just want you to know I was trying to help them, to rekindle passion. That's one of my talents. And it just kind of does, come on, man, just let me. And it just every time that he tries to leave, it's like he tries to leave. It's the okay, all right. And it's like
occasional choking.
It's like occasional choking. It's like, I'm not gonna. What's over there? And it continues. All right, okay, all right. I'm moving. Love what you've done with the place, by the way. It's just erratic, and constant speech.
The person who's dragging you was in the form of a high elven man with ginger hair tied back into a ponytail, and he's just dragging you with this shadowy mage hand. That's not what I was referring to, and that is not why you are with me today. Come this way. Now.
Oh, sure. This way?
If
that way.
Yes, and if you don't shut the fuck up, you will die. And he immediately shifts form, and you just see this black cloak where you cannot identify a face or hands or any features. It looks like the person turned into a floating cloak.
Kuerdo opens his mouth because it's just like and remembers the warning, and it's just
Aelothin and Lupine, you guys heard the commotion going on, and then it stops. Almost as suddenly as it started. Do you have any reactions before I bring the other two into this room?
Lupine's ears are definitely going to perk up, and that snarl is going to come back. Who is in my home?
And any reaction from Aelothin? Physical or verbal?
The meal that he had been provided had a few bites taken from it, but 90% of the meat is still on the plate, and he flips the fork over so it tines down and pushes it slightly away from him. Sits back and waits as if about to watch dinner in a show.
Love it. First thing you see, Lupine, as you're looking towards where the sound was, is you see a shadow emerge from the hallway. That shadow then looks like a hand that is dragging this individual who you have never seen into your main space here. Kuerdo, go ahead and introduce yourself, what you look like, and who you are.
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm Victor. I'm usually known as Victor the Story Weaver, and you can find me like that in places like Instagram or TikTok. And I am playing Kuerdo, the bard changeling. Kuerdo currently is donning a human appearance of brown skin male. He is wearing a greenish bandana that is tied with a red bow on the back, and on top of that he's wearing this crimson hat with a very wide brim and a lot of trinkets dangling from it. He is being dragged by the collar of a burgundy suede-like long pirate coat that he wears while he's legs kicking in his pirate-like long distress old pirate boots are just dangling, and his hands now are been holding onto his lute just like this, with his eyes wide after he heard the voice of this like roaring voice of who is in my house, and he's just being dragged, and he's like and so that is the figure that is now sort of like still petrified. The idea of, pretend to be dead because maybe the bear won't eat you. That's basically what's happening right now. It's just being dragged, just like
You recognize the magic being used to both of you, because a shadowy mage hand and shadow magic is a signature of your friend.
Friend is a strong word, not one used lightly, not one that Lupine would use. For you, Founder, took your time, didn't you? And why have you brought an unknown into my home?
Eventually, after a moment, and the figure getting further into the center of your room, you see the black cloak emerge from the hallway. You can feel the Founder grinning in that way, that
villainous half grin that he gets. You just feel it smiling at you from under the cloak. For this. And he casts Moonbeam over top of Kuerdo. Kuerdo, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
That's a nat 20 for an 18.
Even a nat 20.
That's not what you were supposed to do.
That's the wrong way.
Where's the nat 1?
Take 11 points of damage
Oh, no.
from the Moonbeam. And you immediately shift back into your changeling form. What does your changeling form look like?
The changeling form of Kuerdo as...
And if the clothes change, don't be afraid to modify them as well, because clothing can be changed by changelings so far.
The clothing is not changed at all. His actual attire that he has collected and gathered throughout his journeys. Very signature of him. However, as the changeling form is revealed, the pale, almost colorless skin that is revealed opens up to these big, wide eyes that are devoid of color as well. There is an iris and a pupil, but the eyes themselves are just as pale as the skin. The nose seems to be almost non-existent. There's a flattened version, very similar to, I guess, Voldemort-ish. There are certain hints on the structure of the jaw and even like some of the parts of the skin on the neck that are somewhat looking amphibian. There's almost like a residue of something that hints to a creature that seems like could have been a part of like a merfolk or have some sort of heritage from it.
Now, Lupine, be a dear, has there been any new arrivals of our kind since Aelothin and I came through all those years ago?
Watch your tone.
My tone
But
is
no.
phenomenally pleasant right now. No. Then how do we explain this? Aelothin, you're the only one unaffected of the three of us. Was this your doing? He's dressed fancy like you. He has your sense of taste.
I can see that, and I appreciate it very much, Kuerdo.
Thank you.
Wonderful hat. The attire one puts on does not dictate one's lineage, I would hope. No, I don't know who this is. Never seen them before in my life. I was hoping you might be able to provide an explanation.
Aelothin without the answers. Interesting. Well,
My apologies, sir. You caught me unawares.
everyone loses sometimes. Now, any guess? I'll give you 3 guesses where I found him.
Your precious city that is failing and falling from the sky.
Oh, the beast thinks he knows something. How quaint. Down, Rover. Be very careful. And he shifts into his changeling form, which is just this gray, very plainly dressed individual
with black eyes, no iris, none of that. Just black, 3 slits for where the mouth would go and where the nose is. And he just... Since we exposed one, we may as well share who we are, too. We are like you, Kuerdo, but you're different. Who are your parents? Do you even know?
Well...
You're permitted to speak, yes.
Thank you.
Just don't piss off the wolves in the corner.
He has the moment where it's like, there are wolves in the... Oh, there are wolves in the corner. Okay. All right. I can do this. The story of lineage. Well,
How old are you?
You don't ask that to a lady. Not that I'm one, but still. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
A mystery.
Indeed. What is the first historical event you do remember?
The village where I was raised was attacked by some pirates and slave traders and was taken.
Did that village have a name?
Yanoa?
Yanoa. West Coast piracy has been a problem for centuries.
Did these pirates fly a flag?
I don't remember. I don't think they had a flag per se. We didn't get to see much from below deck.
How about a brooch? A symbol of some sort that they bore into battle?
I remember one individual that seemed to be more elegant than the rest. A purple cloak, golden brooch. I don't remember what the brooch symbol may have been, but it seemed to be serpentine of sorts.
He's only 700. 8 tops.
You're saying that
Interesting.
I'm 700? I don't think so, no.
Yes.
He's just a child.
He is but a child. Now, the fun part about this is A, you're a changeling. Like us. B, you remember the pillaging of Yanoa, which happened during the heyday of piracy, during what's known in the history books as the Golden Age of Piracy. The pirate that you were captured by, his grandchild, was Captain Flanders, who founded the city of Flanders Bay. You guys may know it down in Lyria. It's several thousand miles to the south. But he is indeed at least 800 years old. I'm glad we could teach you something about your own life, Kuerdo.
Kuerdo's just like sort of forcing, like doesn't know if to smile or looks at the wolves on the corner, takes a moment to, he's still holding onto the loot. He's like sort of dangling from the hand and is just kind of turning to people, sort of like looks toward Lupine, and then when notices the fear, he's like, I don't want to look that way. Then it looked like somebody just wanted to look at it. I'm not going to look that way. Is that the other one with the hat? So it has a moment of like hat to hat. Like, it's very good. And it's just that thing of, okay, Love history lessons. Can I go now?
No.
Okay.
Lupine is going to take this moment to stand up and shift himself back into his changeling form.
And what does Lupine's changeling form look like?
Lupine's changeling form is very... I wouldn't say tall. In fact, he actually grows shorter with his changeling form. Probably losing about maybe 3 to 5 inches in height. He grows quite a bit more pale. And in terms of his armor, it kind of almost like looks like it shrinks with him. And then to go with that, his face is where you can really see. His face starts to turn like almost stripes of gray. So there's like a stripe of gray, a stripe of white, and a stripe of a black in a way almost. Yet where the gray begins on his left side of his face, there is a claw mark of 5 claws from the forehead through the eye down to the neck. His eyes are purple irises, but there definitely also is a hint of black that seems to almost be beating, as if a heartbeat that was inside his own eyes, possibly. The canine features still are there, but they're a little less protruding. And of course, the nose has been replaced by slits. And he looks to the founder. So you found another one of us. Does that mean you're actually working towards your goal you're supposed to be working on, you scientist?
He may be the solution. Or part of it. Kuerdo, I need your blood. And he just heads over, and you see him pull out of a pocket, a satchel on his side, a syringe, to come at you towards, as if to take your blood. We could do this the civilized way. Or, I have some more uncivilized friends who can acquire your blood in other manners.
Sir, I apologize for interjecting, but our treatment of our guest has been anything but civilized up to this point. Please, sir, come take my seat. I have an unfinished meal here for you. And I can pour you another glass of wine if you'd like.
The blood draw can wait. Of course. I forget myself when I am in the middle of a breakthrough. Please, have a seat.
As you
Young
say,
one.
please have a seat, you realize Kuerdo is not where it was anymore. The mention of food and wine was all he took. He's just constantly hungry and thirsty. And the moment that he's like, there's some unfinished meal, doesn't matter, that's enough. It's just whoosh. It's like you say have a seat, and all of a sudden it's the typical, like, you know, the figure, like the just
Blinking
the outline,
dotted line outline.
the outline of him, and then you just pan, and he's just eating the food and taking the wine. Thank you so much. This is great, by the way. Really good. Yeah. I mean, needle. Okay, I've done. I suppose I can work with that. Yeah. This is definitely helping. As long as you don't need. Do you need all of it?
No. Just a sample. For
Yeah.
study.
I have been told that I am quite mesmerized, so...
Indeed you are. A new changeling hasn't been born in 15,000 years.
Is it like... There's like... Pause. Kuerdo is not necessarily an individual who's much aware of changeling culture, because he was raised as a human, and he pretty much was on the run for a long time, and then he just sort of embraced his identity. but it never occurred to him the idea that his type of being had some sort of issue like this. And so it's like the first sort of serious face that you can see him take. It's just, wait, what do you mean? Why is that the case?
Are you ready for another history lesson?
If there's more wine, yes.
Aelothin
Maid.
will pour a second glass.
Maid, we need 2 more casks, please. And the satyr just brings out 2 more casks on their shoulders.
You just see him sort of like, I'm all yours.
On the table, you start to see illusions, imagery of changelings like yourself. Not like yourself, but like us selves. Like ourselves, not because you are not entirely changeling, because you don't see anyone else have those gills. You don't see anyone else that's quite as translucent. You don't see anyone else. There's a lot of features that we have that you don't, and that you have that we don't. So, in here, and these are not made of shadow, these are just like major illusion, minor illusion type spells. You see happy changelings in charge of an entire kingdom where the grass and the trees grow purple and pink and all kinds of fun Fey colors that you've heard about in the from the Feywild, but you've never been. And then you start to see people coughing. Everyone gets really, really sick, and they begin to die. You even see the founder changeling inside this illusion watching all of this, and he starts to try and fix it, but he can't. He then gets told that you then see the Lupine figure come up. He gets sent through a portal to somewhere else you can't see because this is still in the Feywild side of things. And you then, after a while, you start to see people okay, but they don't look healthy. They don't look happy anymore. They don't have the clout and the prowess and the strength of vigor of character that they used to have. You see all of them go into a single city, close and wall off the gates, and evict all outsiders from inside the city walls. So fairies were kicked out, ogres, trolls, furbolgs, satyrs, nymphs, dryads, everything was evicted from this one city of the changelings. You see Aelothin come home. Not in a changeling form, in the form you're seeing right now. In fact. Except there's a big pair of wings on his back. He was visiting with the fairies. And he came back and saw his city closed off. They let him in, and you see the founder and him talking, and then they go through the same portal that the founder sent Lupine through. 15,000 years ago, as you have just seen, something caused our people to become deathly ill. Deathly is a word we did not utilize about ourselves until then. Lupine was infected. He was the first one sent here to try and keep us safe and find some kind of cure on the material plane. He sent back word that he did, but it was dangerous. So he was going to stay here until someone came to check him out and check out the version of the cure. We didn't dare send anyone because we were sick. We weren't going to try and get everyone else sick until the virus subsided. Eventually, everything subsided, and Aelothin points straight over to Aelothin, our negotiator and information dealer, returned home, unsick and unaffected by the plague. We do not know why, but I was unaffected. So, Aelothin and I, being pure of genetics, seemingly unaffected, came here to meet up with Lupine and check him out. And the city of the changelings grew into myth and rumor, which is why we do not wear our form outside of ourselves. And those who know and are old enough to know of our existence. Because why spoil the fun of a good myth? But we are ultimately here to find a usable cure, as the founder glares over to Lupine, to take back. You may be a component of our salvation, because no new changelings can be born. And when we are dead, we are all gone. And we must go to any lengths necessary to cure this godforsaken plague. And nobody wants to get in my fucking way. And you see him like shoot daggers through his eyes in your direction in case you had the thought of standing in his way. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know if you would be in his way or not. But he's a man on a mission, and he's not gonna let anything stop him. And he's made that abundantly clear. As he sits down to eat his steak that just was served medium, not medium rare.
I think Kuerdo watches this whole thing with fascination, and there's a moment as he's listening to this whole thing about the disease and the sickness that he actually looks at his hand, noticing that his hand is the pale of his true form, which is not something that he uses often. And then when the founder sort of gets intense about somebody getting on his way, he just has a moment of that. I don't see a reason why I would oppose to the helping people. So we don't need them. I get you. That's what I'm saying.
Do I believe Kuerdo?
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Natural 20 for a 32.
Kuerdo, does he believe you? Well, is Kuerdo telling the truth? How sincere is Kuerdo? Is he scared shitless? What is Kuerdo giving off right this second?
No, I mean you can sense that, like, especially with that role, like Kuerdo means what he's saying, and if anything, there's like you can probably have a sense of he's not entirely sure what this whole thing is. It's like that you can tell that he's sincerely confused about a lot of this information, but he definitely doesn't seem to like it seems like he's reading this very basic, like there's a group of people, they're trying to help, some people are sick, he may be able to help. He's a little apprehensive about it because like blood drawing and everything, but his mind doesn't go deep enough or profound enough for him to be adding like layers and layers of possibilities. So yeah, he's sincere.
Lupine.
In that case,
Sorry, go ahead,
having come to that conclusion about Kuerdo's emotions about this situation Aelothin is going to sit in the chair next to him and turn it towards him and sort of lean forward. Now, I think you ought to know that what our founder just told you is not known to anyone outside this room. There have been historians that have guessed at pieces of this story, but we have gone to great lengths to keep this a secret. Now that you know it, it puts you in danger. We've been around for a millennia. We have made enemies in that time. Some of them still hunt us.
The founder chuckles to himself as he drinks some wine.
I feel like you see it, like now that you are close to Kuerdo too, in his regular form, you can actually see that like there are some scars, like some old scars in some parts of his face, his neck, whatever areas are like somewhat exposed currently, which is not much with his attire. Some of his chest has some like marks that seem like either like cuts or bullet holes. That all like marks that you can see is just battle scarred. He has some battle scars on him. And so he just has a moment where he just kind of, well, if I'm honest, I have been known to find myself in danger a lot of the times, so I don't think that would be anything new for me.
Good. How did you get some of those scars? We know that you're at least 700 or 800 years old, but there's a possibility you're much older and have some sort of memory problem up until 700, 8 years ago. We only know the last thing you remember, and these scars look like they could be older than this?
Well, let's see. Trying to make the story somewhat short. After I got captured, I got to participate as I was a gladiator for a while. And then there was a gentleman who took interest in me, who I think somehow they knew what I was or my abilities, and that I was one of he just gestures to the group. And then they took me in and they taught me how to be more stealthy and lethal, if you will. So I guess you could say that for a while I was a bit of an assassin. It's a long time ago, though. And then it was during a travel through seas that we got ambushed, and I was tossed into a magical chest, and I was tossed overboard, and I sank to the bottom of the ocean, and I was there for I don't know, a long time, I guess. Some people say that I went crazy, but I'm not crazy, right? No, just a little eccentric. I think that's the word that the captain said. So after I was fished out of the water, I joined some pirate crew, and I was their musician, bard, for a while. And then after that, I just went on, just gave up the whole betrayal assassins thing that I had, and then I found myself just traveling and sharing music, performances and stories with people, which is what I like to do. And I have been told and I've been accused of having a bit of a weakness for sirens. So if you know of a siren cove somewhere that could be dangerous, let me know, because I will go there. Yeah.
You just see the founder write
Founder,
some book.
Where did you find this guy?
Leva. He was participating as a minstrel in the Battle of the Bards in preparation for the Founders' Day Fair in just 2.5 weeks. Apparently, he's the headliner.
Well, congratulations. Founder, if you found him in Telovia, how do we know that there aren't more changelings in your city?
Well then, looks like we'll have to cast a nice moonbeam to find out
Yes,
across the
we
entire
will,
city.
won't we?
Root out all those little shapeshifters that might be present. However,
Watch it.
from the sound of it, based on what he was saying, he wasn't born in my city. He wasn't born in Tauliva. He only just got there.
And how many other changelings just got there?
That's the point. None.
I will say this, Founder. Watch yourself in Tauliva who you expose. I have my people there too. And if you expose them to the vampire, well, none of us want that, do we?
Solarian won't be there until at least the 16th. We'll just do it on a
Lupine,
day.
you can't talk about exposing people when you willingly show your true form in front of someone you just met and have no reason to trust.
I haven't
We need to
seen
be
them.
more careful than this.
As Aelothin is speaking, and the only person who has not shifted into his changeling form.
Yes!
Just have that moment of Kuerdo's like, I haven't seen him. Oh, I saw it. Damn it, I saw it.
Lupine at this point just whistles. And the wolves all wake up. And they start prowling. I have no need for fear for myself. I have allies. I fear for those in my guild. Because as the founder said, Moonbeam will help with the shapeshifters. But it also will reveal my kind. My guildmates who are there working for me.
Don't they have their
And I will
cage?
not tolerate them being exposed.
I told you how to get them out. You get them out of the city and everything will be fine.
Not just yet.
All of a sudden, a device on his hip starts blaring with an alarm that sounds mechanical, like you guys would set an alarm on your cell phone for like an app alert. Pulls off of a sending stone. Fuck. Power outage across the entire city. It looks like things
Sabotage?
are about to get interesting in my little experiment of a city.
Time is running out. Tick tock.
Sure is. Shall we all go and apply some pressure? I think this will attract the Raven Court as well. And they would be most helpful. Especially the one that Aelothin just recently met. I think Morwen would be quite helpful in this situation. Has she signed the deal yet?
No, I have not yet managed to outsource our greatest mission.
Well, when you do, you'll have a sample of his blood, and my blood, and your blood, and the blood of Lupine. She's going to need the full gambit if she's going to get the cure.
She's going to find out much more than the cure. Prepared for that?
Oh, half of them have true sight. They already know what I am.
There are things in history that can be hidden from true sight. Just hope we're making the right decision.
If not...
Kuerdo, would you be willing to lend us a vial of your blood?
Yeah, I mean, wine for blood. Someone would say, I suppose.
Even out of super fun, the founder just mage hands turns your wine into a mage hand and draws the blood from you in a syringe. And then your wine goes back to where it was, and the syringe comes over to him. Thank you. Here you are, Aelothin.
Lupine looks over. Do you need another sample of mine, or do you have enough?
I've had yours for centuries. Never mind. Millennia. Remember, you were one of the originals who I let go from the city. Why would I not have already had yours? You were sick. I have plenty of your blood. Well, I think it's time for us to pay Taliva a visit. We have a few things to take care of first, and each of us will get there in our own way. But until then, Kuerdo, I think we have to get you back to the bar. You were supposed to go on in 10 minutes, weren't you?
Was I? Oh, well, I never know with these things. Sometimes it's hard to track which bar I'm in.
Power failure makes things easy to explain away.
Yeah, that'll do it. I can work with that.
Well, shall we go? And he reaches out a hand towards you, Kuerdo.
Sort of looks at the hand, looks at the other two, sort of takes his hat, takes it off, and sort of gives a nod, puts it back on. So it's nice meeting you, beloved cousins, brethren, fellow. And may the sickness and ailments are kind be. I
look forward to seeing you headline.
Okay, thank you. And just takes the hand. It's just like he's so out of his depth. Out of his depth.
And Aelothin, reread the contract tomorrow, because they made a few changes. I ran into Link.
Be surprised if there's a single word of the original left.
Oh, there's none of it. Link rewrote the entire thing.
I'll bring my glasses.
There's more to that mystery than meets the eye. He was summoned from Gehenna, don't you know? And at that, he grabs Kuerdo's hand, and shadow disappears to both of them back to the city of Taliva, leaving Lupine and Aelothin alone in the house once again.
Sometimes I want to be able to enact the wrath that I have built up over the centuries here on his face.
Yes. Well, you'll have to wait for that. It looks... And if I hear one more growl, I'm going to go insane. So I'll bid you adieu.
Be well, Aelothin.
You as well, Lupine. And Aelothin will mutter a spell and open a portal and step through it.
As the portal opens, Lupine is going to stand up and go from his changeling form to a werewolf form. So he's going to shift into a werewolf that is a mixture of black, blue, silver, and purple glowing eyes, almost like they're on fire, but at the same time surrounded by black. And he's going to let off a long howl, and then he's going to go off and hunt the wolf pack that was with him. What he's hunting for, only time will tell.
Okay, so it is early on the morning on the 28th. Link, you brought back the finished contract last night after you finished talking with the founder, knowing that you don't know, the time was never discussed on when the new friend was going to be showing back up.
So you went to Morwen's last night after you met up with the founder. You finished up the contract, the whole deal. And we're gonna go ahead and pick up with the two of you eating breakfast, I presume, on the lanai in Morwen's estate.
She would have... It's very similar to when Link was up there after his reformation, we'll call it. But this time the food is actually for him. And I think after having had Link over for food multiple times now, or having fed him multiple times now, she would be getting a sense of what he likes. And Link, you would notice some of the dishes that you eat more of than others, that she took note, and those is what is in front of you right now, essentially.
I would say that Link will be in his Arcanoloth form. After the last conversation, he feels that he can be more relaxed while still kind of be on guard, because last time the whole death thing was just not a thing he really enjoyed. But you know what? At least right now he feels
She apologized.
You may have apologized, but it's one of those like, I'm not gonna forget this. You caught me slipping the last time, and it's not gonna happen again. But he would at least do her the respect of being able to be in his natural form, while also being on the ready should our friend decide to magically show up, switch to the Baxi form.
I am going to assume that you have completed the rewriting of my deal.
Oh, absolutely. I finished it about not long after I got home, actually. Really, these kind of deals don't take that long to get done, especially when you get through all the shenaniganry that is just excess stuff. Really, the longest bit was making sure that the deal had you more in mind than what it was previously.
Was there anything in the deal before you rewrote it that I should be aware of? Anything they were trying to sneak in?
Yeah, just the standard face stuff, like, if you sign this contract away, you have to give away half your, what is it? If I'm not mistaken, you have to give up half of your riches, defaults majority, if not nearly 99.99999% of your knowledge and technology over to the dealer of said contract, and expect all of your belongings to be forfeited unto them for the rest of eternity. And there was a couple more things I just kind of forgot because, again, I've seen these deals before. I know what I'm looking at, and I'm scratching that the hell out.
I can't tell if you are joking.
I wish I was. However, you would be surprised at how often I come across these deals, and I am in shock because you would think that they know better to keep the deals more vocalized, because then you have everything kind of out there in the ether. You can say what you want while actually not saying anything at all. But when you put it on paper, no matter how tiny the format is, it is my people's job to be able to look, read, and say, fuck out of here with that bullshit.
You notice she picks up her wine cup and she looks at it instead of you. Like, she's debating whether she wants to say this next thing.
Can I roll an insight check to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go. You know, the food is too good. At the most, I'm getting, because that's a 4 on the die. It's probably still less than a 10, so it's just like I'm really diving into this food while also thinking of the contract, and just like, I just can't wait to see the look on that face when they get here.
She clears her throat in an attempt to sort of get your attention again. I know that you are doing this because of your, let's call it a rivalry with the Fae contracts. But there has been a lot going on these last couple of weeks, and it is nice to not have to worry about this and trust that you are going to take care of it to the best of your ability. Trust becomes very scarce these days.
No, I can understand that. Trust is something that is very sacred to my people. So whenever we give it, it's there, and it's something that is treasured, almost like that of, I guess, to relate it is to have an incredible wealth of knowledge at your beck and call. That is what trust is for me. Now I get the whole thing about killing me, so I said, I understand that, and that you still have it, but I'm still going to have reputation, right?
Right.
But I will.
I'm working on it.
Yep. I will also say that you're using the word rival very generously when you pay contracts, because that is, they are what is it? They are your kids' league. I'm playing at the major leagues. So it's like you're using that very generously, but we're not going to say anything about that. We'll just keep that between us. If I can ask, you mentioned things have been going on as of late, and forgive me for that, but would you, I think is the thing that is common around here, like to talk about it?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
I think it's nice to know I have a, as you call it, big league player in my corner for now. And I just wanted to say I appreciate what you're doing. As for everything else, a lot of drama, I suppose. Nothing with any real weight. Not yet. It's just people proving to me why I don't trust people and reinforcing the way I live, I suppose.
That is incredibly understandable.
But if anything comes to the point where I feel that you should be aware of these things, I will let you know. How about that?
I trust you. I will be at the ready when you decide to call.
Mistress Morwen, as your servant comes in, your friend, I think, has returned. The guy you sent away a couple days ago.
Right.
Shall I bring
Are you
him
ready? She looks to Link. Are you ready?
Link will snap his fingers and switch into his cute tabaxi form. Ready as I'll ever be.
You should have waited for the servant girl to leave before you did that. She waves her hand over to the servant girl, and you see her eyes go glassy. She's
Modified memory.
exactly.
I figured they've probably seen some stuff, so I knew you had the ability to take care of that. My apologies. I'll wait next time.
She repeats once more. Shall I go get him?
Yes, go fetch him.
Of course. And about 5-10 minutes later, she walks back in with your friend. I believe he gave you his name last time, Aelothin.
Yes.
So walks back in with Aelothin.
You see
And
behind
then
the
turns around
servant
and
girl,
leaves.
following the servant girl out onto the porch area, is about a just under 6 foot tall man with a large, wide brimmed hat, wearing a loose, white flowing shirt with cuffs, a V around the neck, showing a little bit of chest hair, simple trousers and boots. And as he tips his head back up and removes his hat, you can see that one of his eyes is entirely bright red. Lady Morwen, it is wonderful to see you again. Every time I come, I see a different part of your wonderful estate. And, if you don't want me to keep coming back, you should, maybe let a piece of it fall into disrepair, because it is absolutely breathtaking. Thank you for having me once again.
I wish I could say that I am glad to see you as well, but alas. And she motions to another chair, a third chair that has been set out as they were expecting you, for you to take a seat.
Aelothin moves over to the chair, sits on it, crosses one knee over the other, and puts his hat on top of his knee. So, I hear you have a revised contract for me.
Aelothin, as you sit down, can you give me a perception check, please?
Absolutely.
Also, I'm so surprised Link doesn't have an irrational fear of chairs now. After what happened last time.
We're already past that scene.
Perception, you said, yes?
Yes.
32.
Oh, okay. After you sit and you begin talking again, you do notice a ripple in the air as a couple of things happen. One is when you sit down, there is a bubble now reformed around the three of you. With that 32, you can tell it's security measures. There is silence, for example, the most obvious one. There is also what seems to be like a glyph or a ward of some sort on the chair itself. But again, with that 32, I will tell you, it is not, what do you call it, like evocation or like a damage. You get the sense like this is another just sort of security measure of hers. With that, you would definitely get the sense that she does not trust you at all. And that things are set to happen if you do something outwardly, not outwardly bad, but outwardly aggressive or things like that. Yeah, you get that with your 32.
My. I'd better be on my best behavior, shouldn't I?
She doesn't honor that comment with a response. as she turns over and looks at Link. Well, I am going to assume you brought it with you, right?
Absolutely, I have. Hi, how are you doing? Your name was what again?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Link. My name is Aelothin.
Right, okay, Steve, again, yeah, Mr. Link, nice to meet you. Here's the deal, right? As contract representative for my friend here, I obviously took a look at the contract on their behalf just to make sure everything was on the right. And well, you're gonna see as Link pulls out his cute little backpack and brings out the original contract with and like plop it on a table, and you'll see like a scroll fall out from and go a significant distance before it hits like the edge. And he says, "It had a couple modifications. There were just things I had seen that were like it was giving nope for me. So I wanted to make sure that everything was on the right. And so he pulls out another one, and brings out a smaller scroll. And this one is a little bit more straightforward with what is being dealt, essentially kind of honoring what the original contract was supposed to be. But you'll also notice that as this is being more straightforward, there is a couple clauses that state that in the event of what can be perceived by any celestial, fiend, undead, or fey being to be as a misconstrued version of what the deal was actually meant, this contract would become null and void. In the event that the originator of the contract were to try and attempt to backstab, double cross, or make a previous deal that would in turn cause a backstab, double cross, or double deal against the aforementioned person, that the contract would be null and void, and the person that caused the infraction to occur would be subject to a lifetime of payments equal to, but not limited to, about 100 gold pieces per day for the rest of the being's life.
Certainly a fair statement, given there is one of equal and opposite value.
Yep. So again, there was a lot of extra stuff I just wanted to make sure was cut out. So we just hit straight to the point, and I think all terms are there to be, equal, more balanced, in favor of my client here. There is the added stipulation too that understand that there was a 1-question deal. I'm willing to negotiate that and start off with a 10-question deal versus the 1.
I see. Starting a very, very tough offer, aren't you? You see, a single question can be very difficult to answer, especially when it is something obscure and valuable, such as, how do I defeat my enemy? What does my lover truly care about? How do I protect those that I do love? Any of these questions could be worth most people's lifetime to answer. That is why the original stipulation of a single question was set forth.
You know that I, myself, deal in knowledge, and would be able to find most of the answers I seek through time and research of my own. So these questions of yours are not as valuable to me as they would be to somebody else.
I beg to disagree, my lady. The fact that you have such vast bounds of knowledge means that your questions are much more valuable, that much more difficult to answer, which increases the value tenfold or more of each individual question you may have. Or if you already knew the answer, why would you ask me?
Okay, so we're still starting at 10.
There lies the problem. I don't know if I would find myself with the need to ask you. Is there nothing else you can offer?
Let me give you an example of how powerful a single question can be. You have enemies, yes?
They consider themselves as such, sure.
Do you know how to defeat each one?
So you see, now that I think about it, most of those are not actually my enemies, but enemies of people I've made other deals with. And given the supposed value of these questions of yours, I would not spend them on other people.
Do you have those you care about?
Besides the people that reside in this safe haven of islands I have made.
That is not what I
personally.
mean, my lady.
No.
Of course you have your people that you care about very much. You care about them as a populace. You have an individual which you would share an eternity with.
I do not think you did enough research on me before attempting this deal. I do not think I am the type of person you think I am. I do not. I do not have anyone like that.
Would you like one?
No, it is a distraction.
There are questions that I can answer that can increase the value of your other aforementioned contracts. Not only would they lessen your burden for finding out yourself, but you would be able to assist those and use this question you may ask as a bargaining chip for something else.
Morwen, if I may.
See, yes,
Our-
please.
Our friend Kyle here went fishing, trying to get a reason why it needs to remain as one question. However, you have answered these questions, and yet he is still trying to find and solidify why it needs to remain as one. So, if I may recommend, we just pull back this contract and wish him a good day, because they're going to keep fishing until they find the one thing that you hold nearest and dear, and that's going to be the focal point as to why it needs to stay as one. So either we sign the contract, you give the 10 questions, and you also remain in favor until an unspecified amount of time, or we call it a day. Enjoy our food, because God, this is amazing. And then you're going to see Link just kind of like smash down one of the sandwiches, just like a full foot long, just go right down his throat. Like, amazing. Kisses and praise and all that good stuff to the chef.
I am glad you're enjoying yourself, Link. Now, Aelothin, I think he is right. I do not wish to argue for the value of your answers. I simply do not think that value, high as it may be in your mind, equates to me saving an entire people. That's a high order. Can I do it? Of course. Does that mean I want to do it or feel the need to do it? No.
Then
much is your people worth to you, Aelothin?
you are wise in hiring an Aelothin, my lady. Had dealings with his kind in the past, and this is how it usually goes. Very well. The question that I think would bring you the most value is this. How would one erase the Founder from existence?
You see her genuinely take a second to think on it. Like, oh wow, that is something.
I think at the same time you also catch Lincoln like just mid bite, like as he's about to take it for the sandwich, just like stop and like hold that pose, and then like eyes dart over to Morwen and just like, what do we do? That's a good question.
Now, I would like a short tour of your beautiful grounds, and when I return, I hope that you will be ready to take my offer seriously. And Aelothin stands and wanders off into the yard, giving you two some privacy.
Yeah, you see as you step out of that bubble of silence. You feel it when you step out of the bounds. So you know that you will not be able to hear them. Aelothin, do you have true sight?
Aelothin's outside the sphere of silence, right? So he can't hear this question?
No, I am asking the player, essentially. Do you have true sight?
Yes.
Okay. You see a tiny mote. Think of the way dust particles sometimes float in front of a beam of light, right? Tiny, almost imperceptible. Just seems to follow you, essentially. The size of a pinprick. And it's just sort of floating behind you, a couple ways off as you walk.
And we'll see Aelothin genuinely take in the beauty of the estate, stopping to smell flowers, brushing his hand along, the banisters, just wandering around the house.
Morwen sits there, puts her wine back down onto the table, and crosses her arms.
So what are you thinking?
What do you think? It is certainly worth considering. I can't quite decide if it is an equivalent exchange, though. One life for however many of them there is.
Fair. I will always err on the side of get the most that you can out of it, and I'm still saying we hold down to what we have right here. If he doesn't want to answer that question, if he doesn't want to sign the deal for 10 questions, because that easily could be one of the questions in there. Honestly, Morwen, if I can be frank with you, you have the ability to gain so much knowledge and understanding of this world that you don't need this question. If we're being honest, you can get the answer if you so desire.
I suppose I am looking at this a little more, less like the deal itself, and a little of a larger picture. What is it to have an entire race of people indebted to you? I would save them. And maybe we can go from 10 questions to 5. We also stipulate that there is no determinate time in which these questions become void. I'm planning on living a very long time. I do not have to ask them now, but his people would be beholden to answering these questions whenever I do have them. And that could be in a week, 100 years.
I think the assumption is that they would be grateful and that they would be willing to show you all the praise that I believe thinking that they'll give you, but it seems that there may be possibly something we're not seeing. It's too easy to just give it to that one question and then allow us to deal with the consequences of said actions, only for it to lead down a road where there are things neither one of us even considered. So that one question.
How much do you know about the founder, Link?
Well, I can tell you that he's got some things in mind. He thinks he can play chess with me, and I'm saying that both literally and figuratively. And it's just odd timing that we would have conversation with Morgan over there, and then, I meet with the founder, and then boom, Morgan's back here today. There's just something off about this. I'm trying to put the pieces together, but there's something I'm missing. Stuck on that one question. Why is he willing to give that information? What's the cause? What's the effect? What are the consequences of it? Second, third order effect kind of a deal. I can't put my finger or claw on it, but it's there. I don't trust it.
Very well.
Even if we boil it down to 5, I think we're still beholden to the fact that that those 5 questions will go by pretty quick. Especially if we ask the very first question of how do we get rid of the founder or whatever. They said that the question was, I was only halfway paying attention, waiting for the really important part. But my point still stands.
Do you think we can get rid of him on our own?
Yes. Because he's cocky. Because he's arrogant. Because he's willing to try and mess with things that are beyond this realm that he can't even possibly fathom. And I am happy to deliver his comeuppance. It does. Sure.
I will take your word for that. I think I want to do a little of my own research into their people's ailment before I agree to anything, if I ever end up agreeing to anything.
Happy to assist with that research.
I suppose we can wave him back. Morwen will look out to see if she can spot Aelothin and gesture with a hand for him to come back to their bubble.
Aelothin returns at a leisurely pace and sits back down in the chair, putting his hat back on his knee. Shall we begin?
I I will not dispute further the value of your questions. But now I think I want to weigh my task up against them.
Of course.
I want to do some research of my own into the ailment of your people, and then decide if it is a task I want to take upon myself to cure them.
Very well. I expected such a thing, and I, of course, came prepared. Aelothin reaches into a pouch at his hip and pulls out a vial of dark red liquid and places it on the table between them. This is a vial of blood of one of my kin who suffers from the affliction. I assume this is an ample starting point, should I choose to hand it over.
You see Link, you would notice when the vial of blood came out, Morwen is looking, like her eyes are doing that sparkly thing.
Mm-hmm. I think Link catches that, and it's just like, yes, okay, that vial of blood perfectly covers this lunch. Phenomenally. Yes, it covers the lunch. But to get to try and negotiate down from what has been established here, you're gonna need to give us a little bit more than that. Come on now. Come on.
I know how much information can come from a single vial of blood. Not only about my kin, but about me, and what abilities that we have access to. This is information that I am handing over freely as a goodwill token to enter into this contract.
Morwen she thinks about grabbing it after he says he is offering it freely as a token of goodwill, but then stops herself and looks at Link. Because, Fae and words and all of that.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead and you'll see as like a pin will fly out of Link's tiny little backpack, and you'll see on the parchment paper that at the very top there will be a paragraph. Like there will be the top two paragraphs, and you'll see as they kind of move down a little bit, and it will have a space, and it'll be written out just as you had said, that this vial of blood will be given free of charge, no strings attached. Initial here.
Never has drafting a contract been so adorable.
This is just me on a normal day. Wait till I get super cute, and then it gets even more adorable.
Allow me to initial. And he will initial a part of the contract that only specifies that I am giving you this vial of blood.
Yeah, as you go into initial, I will look into this ailment. I have a feeling it's something I have not seen before, and I will not lie. The thought of that is exciting, as learning something new always is. And in the event that I choose not to take this deal as a form of goodwill, as you have just done, and thanks for the vial of blood, I will hand over any research that I conducted upon the blood for you to have. It is simply giving the information back to the people that the information came out of. And that is in case that I do not take the deal. You will still have that. And this all wouldn't have been in vain for you and your people. And
You are
in
most
the
gracious,
event
my lady.
that my research into this blood leads me to making a deal with you, then we will talk about that. But I will like to spend some time with this first. I would not enter into an agreement that I didn't think I could see through. I am no deal maker, as the two of you are, and even I can see that that is a fool's errand.
Aelothin, at this point, has drafted up another small contract to hold Morwen to her word and slides it over to Link.
Link will take a look at it and then just roll it back up, and then you'll see as the pin will go back down, and on the original contract where it had that new indentation of the vial being given free of charge, that's just underneath that will be that second paragraph being scooched down, and as Morwen had stated, the conditions of it will appear onto that parchment paper with the added bonus of the research will not be used by any other means other than to try and cure the people as mentioned within the contract.
That is not what I said.
What's that? No.
I said that is the use of the research itself was not specified at all. So it was essentially, I'm going to look into this vial of blood, right, to decide if I want to help you or not. And what I discover in this blood, that information, the changed things, I will give it freely, right? So whether I end up making a cure for this or not, that is the contract that we will touch upon after I have looked at the blood. But when I run diagnostics on this blood, those findings, if I do not end up engaging in a contract with you, I will still hand those over so that you all aren't starting again from zero and now have this information to help yourselves as an exchange or as a thank you for having given her the vial of blood in the first place. So that is regardless of whether the contract goes through or not, they will be getting some information even if she doesn't end up working on a cure for them.
You'll see the look of Link just being like, kind of like roll his eyes like, okay, and then like everything that would have been written out would have been outside of verbatim what Morwen had stated would have been scratched out and kicked off the page and then filled out as stated with a area for her to initial.
Because the use of the blood and the research outside of this is something she definitely does not want to limit.
Okay, so you guys are doing a goodwill
agreement
instead of the main contract.
The whole goodwill paragraph.
It's basically two separate contracts now.
Okay, so you guys rework the two contracts. You do brand new contracts, make it easy and clean. The goodwill contract and the full agreement. The full agreement's kind of pushed off to the side as both of you signed the goodwill agreement. And who's gonna keep the main one? Is it gonna be Aelothin, Morwen, or Link? Who's gonna hang on to it?
Well, Link wrote them.
Yes.
And then both Aelothin and I signed them, right? The goodwill agreements. So Link, who did not sign them, would keep the contract for safekeeping.
Okay. So then Link, you're going to take both of those pieces of paper, both the main contract that you wrote up, and then the goodwill agreements that you guys just negotiated, and those are going to go in your. As soon as you touch them, they start rolling themselves up and float right into your bag. Link, you are now the arbiter of the goodwill agreements.
Sounds good.
Morwen looks at Aelothin. I know what it is like to care about your people enough to do just about anything for them, which is why I wanted to give you something, even if our main deal does not go through. I did not want you to leave without making some sort of progress towards your people's cure. And so, what I find out from the blood, I will hand over freely, as we have agreed upon. I just need a way to get that to you, I suppose.
Of course. I have here a pair of sending stones, one of which I will leave with you.
Very well. Then I will call upon you when I have this for you to take. And I think in that moment will give you my final decision on the cure itself. But again, I did not want you to leave empty-handed.
I have said it before, and I will say it again. You are most gracious. Aelothin stands and replaces his hat and holds out his hand to shake Morwen's.
Yeah, she stands up as well and shakes your hand and motions in for the servant girl to come back and walk Aelothin out.
And that transpires as Aelothin is escorted out. And Aelothin, we're gonna follow you for just a second. Where does Aelothin go when he leaves Morwen's house out the front door?
He walks down the road until the estate is out of sight, smiling at first. When he gets to the bottom of the hill, he starts whistling a merry tune, as he just signed a deal without giving up a single question.
That is a win. That is absolutely a win. And as you hop on a ferry to go into Ardamir proper, a little boat that Morwen has because she lives on an island, the boatman takes you across to Ardamir so you can see what other riches Ardamir has to offer for you. Hello, heroes! Eric here. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Somebody's Heroes. If you did, be sure to follow us over on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss the latest chapter. Got a favorite moment, a fan theory, or just something to say about the episode? We would love to hear from you in the comments. And we hope that you'll join us next Tuesday as we march closer to the fall of Taliva.